It's not necessarily unusual for Prime Ministers to appear alongside celebrities, but I doubt the name Shaquille O'Neal was on many political bingo cards this morning, particularly talking about this issue of an Indigenous voice to Parliament. We're told by the Prime Minister's office that while Shaquille O'Neal has been touring Australia, he was particularly interested about this issue and wanted to set up a meeting. That meeting happened this morning at the Sydney parliamentary offices, and Mr O'Neal has pledged his support for the cause, saying he wants to get behind it and help out in any way he can. Now, this is something that the Prime Minister says is important because he says that the campaign for this referendum does need to get high-profile backing. The focus so far may well have been on Australian sporting stars as opposed to international sporting stars, but that international appeal of Shaquille O'Neal is not lost on Anthony Albanese because he says the eyes of the world are on Australia as it debates and discusses this issue about constitutional recognition of our first Australians.
He knows that we're a warm and generous people, and he wanted to inform himself about what this debate was about more by engaging directly with the Minister for Indigenous Affairs and with myself as the Prime Minister. So it's a really positive discussion about the way that Australia is seen in the world.
Linda Burney, while thrilled about his involvement in this cause, is again noting it is going to be a tough campaign to get this over the line, particularly considering how few referendums have been successful throughout Australia's history.
He said it was a noble task, that it was important. We need to build broad-based support across the country for a referendum change. It's not easy in Australia, we all know that. And I think having Shaq O'Neal as part of a campaign is important, but it is also extremely important that we build support across the community.
Linda Burney, the Minister for Indigenous Australians there. Now, Linda Burney and Anthony Albanese both questioned again today about whether the detail or lack thereof when it comes to just how this voice to Parliament would look is actually detrimental to the referendum cause. That's certainly a criticism that's been picked up by opponents of this proposal, saying that leaving it totally in the hands of Parliament in the future after a referendum question is put to the Australian public is both kicking the can down the road and also resulting in Australians not really knowing what they're voting for when they show up at the ballot box. Both Anthony Albanese and Linda Burney rejecting that criticism again, saying that Australians will be fully aware that this is not any sort of body that is going to usurp the powers of Parliament, and that it's appropriate for Parliament to give that due consideration if the Australian people give it the green light.